recording. Well, hello everyone to our first episode of Real Estate Confidential. This is I call this amateur hour. We're gonna have lots of glitches, so enjoy the blooper show. It's our first show. Me and Vernon have been working on this very, very hard. It's a lot more technical than you'd think. Um, we're trying to hire people to help us with this, but hey, I've learned a lot. In addition to being a realtor now, I can say I'm a tech guy, even though I went to journalism school and I know a lot of this stuff, but trying to put it together was not fun. But in any case, hey Vernon, can you hear me? Let's hope we can put you on the screen. Can you see me? Can you hear
Yes,
me, Vernon?
yes,
Awesome. Look at
I
this. I
can
have
hear you.
split screen, except it says Vernon
Yay.
Corum co-host, and my name is not there, which is great. We'll keep it there as long as it's working. So it's all about information, really, Vernon. How you doing today? What's going on?
I- I'm doing great. Of course, it's been a busy few days for us. I mean, I know you've been really been going wild with this podcast thing on your side,
Oh
trying
my
to get it
God.
all put out there. And I mean,
Yeah.
how many hours? 30 plus hours, 35, 40 hours this
No,
weekend
that's
you
about
put in?
33 hours watching videos on how to do this stuff. And
Oh,
then I don't know, sleepless night. My wife's about to divorce me. She kicked me out of the house yesterday. She's like, get out, you're stressing me out. It's amazing. But anyways, I'm glad this is our first show. It's something I've been trying to
mhm,
do for a couple of years. And if it wasn't for you to push me to do it, I would probably have never went and did it. I have so many projects in my hand.
right.
That said, let's talk about what this show is about. What by all means, I don't consider myself an expert in everything, but I've made enough mistakes in my career as a realtor, my 10-year career as a realtor, that I can tell you what not to do. And you learn from experience, right? So this show, there's not going to be any sugarcoating in here. We're going to call it like it is. I'm going to be me, and people that know me, they know I'm very blunt to the point. So if you're too sensitive, please don't watch the show. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Exactly. Right.
Vernon is much nicer than I am. So talk about me a little bit. I am so I've been in real estate 10 years. Previous to that, I used to own some Verizon stores in the Knoxville area, well, Knoxville, East Tennessee area, about 5 Verizon stores. Did very well in business for 12 years. I've done very well in sales and everything I've done. I got into real estate, and I'm not going to say which is the first firm I joined. I was there 3 months, and really I learned what not to do really fast over there. I sold one home in 3 months, and that firm, great people, good intentions, but it was a lot of old school real estate. Um, if in this industry, in this with this technology, if you're doing old school real estate, if you're an agent who's been doing this 15, no, 20, 25 years, you're doing old school, you're still going to thrive because you're going to have you have you've built a CRM, you built a clientele. But if you're a new agent, coming in this business the last 5, 6, 7 years, and you try to do it old school, it's not going to happen. And I learned that the hard way. 3 months working everything that I was taught to do in the old place that I was in. Sold one home, left that firm. Again, great people, nothing against them. It was just old school. It was like the Blockbuster versus Netflix, right? So they didn't evolve. So I went in and went to a different firm. Again, nobody was there to train me or help me with that firm. They were a great firm, but it was holiday season when I moved there. So I had to do what I just did this week is really go look at podcasts and videos and learned a lot. And in those 36, 37 hours spent in a cubicle, locked in one of these offices in Knoxville, drinking Red Bull, true story. I will doze off and drink Red Bull and then go back and watch the video. And I have my ADHD is terrible, so it was awful. But the next 3 months sold 14 homes. I quickly learned, and I realized in that office of 400 and some agents, a lot of people didn't know the system they had. So I was hired to be tech director in that firm, which made me even learn even more. I had to teach seasoned agents how to do things. So I learned the hard way. What you call practice with fire, so to speak. So with all that,
Mhm.
I built a business that made me really good living. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about what to do, what not to do this show. We debated, me and Vernon, what to call the first show, and we came up with the first topic is going to be attracting clients. I know you see a lot, attracting clients. What is that? So we're going to talk about what we do. It may not be the thing for you to do, but it's worked for me and worked for Vernon. Vernon comes in from the hospitality industry.
Mhm.
Sitting with him, it blew my mind how much of stuff he knows about the rentals and managing properties, and he's very, very passionate about that. I've sold in the Sevierville area several cabins, and I listen to what he knows. I'm like, I should be referring this business to him. He knows a lot more. He will serve my
Mhm.
clients better. He's passionate about that. With that said, I'm going to shut up
Mhm.
now. I'm going to have Vernon talk about what he does and all that good stuff.
Okay, yeah. So I do come from the hospitality side. I basically started with a mop and a broom and a tool belt, and I built my business from the ground up. Blue collar style worker. Followed my mom around, who was a good cleaner when she was a younger woman, and she still does a lot of work today, even though she's getting up there in age a little bit. She looks like my sister, though. Full disclosure. But we have a great opportunity in our market here in the Smoky Mountain market in the East Tennessee area to have vacation rentals. So that really is my primary focus. I was kind of cut my teeth in the corporate housing industry, so I worked a lot with attorneys, sports stars, and things like that on that side with the staging and the cleaning and that sort of thing. So I really cut my teeth from the blue collar side of this. But you know, I like to talk to you a little bit about the retail side, and I know you're learning things from me on the short-term rental side. So I feel like this will be a good podcast for us to kind of share our insights and that sort of thing. So today, coming from my perspective, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about client attraction. And if I was a new agent kind of getting started in this, which I kind of am. I mean, you've really been pushing me to go out and do more real estate transactions, because a lot of that I referred out, or I just didn't do it because I was so busy with the other things. But I really do see the opportunity here. So, as a new client, I mean, we talked about pay to play and we talked about organic. Talk a little bit about both of those and kind of introduce a little bit of what that means to you when it comes to this business and how you're going to attract a client. First off, let's start with the pay way.
So, I mean, let me. I'm gonna preface this with this. By the way, I have a lot of squirrel moments, so forgive me. But I get to the point. I'll get you to the point where I'm trying to get at. I've been in sales all my life. Like I said, I used to own Verizon stores. I've never failed in anything in sales. And a lot of people think sales, it's like 1 month you have $1 million, another month you're looking for money, you don't even have a dollar in your pocket. I have never seen anything in like real estate. You can predict your income. You can predict your income. Whatever you put in is going to come out. I don't care if the market crashes. I don't care if we're in a recession. I've learned that. I've seen and worked with some of the best agents in the industry, not only in our area. We have some very talented agents over here, and I've seen, I hate to say this, the worst agents in the industry. I've seen it all. I've seen all kinds of level. I've mentored some of the top agents in this town. I'm proud to say that. Mentored them. Most of them are kicking my butt in sales. But I know what I want. I'm enjoying family. I'm making good money. I'm making good living. You can turn the temperature the way you want it. If you want to make $10,000 a month consistently, you can do that in real estate. If you want to make $1 million a month in real estate, yes, I said $1 million a month, you can do that. It's what you put in, you're gonna get out. So let me start by saying, for the new agents or anybody that's thinking of joining real estate, quit watching $1 million listings. It's all fake. You see these people like on TV collecting $1 million checks, wearing suits and ties. Well, let me rephrase. It's not fake. They do a lot of work in the background. Lots of work. It's like seeing an Olympian winning a gold medal. You don't see what he did the first 4 years to get to that point. He makes it look easy, right? So, my best advice, we talk about someone pay to play is all you want to talk about, Vernon, first?
Yeah,
Or
let's start with that. Yeah, let's
so
start
pay
with
to
that.
play, I'm not a fan of pay to play. So if you're a new agent, I'm not a fan of that at all. First of all, you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what's going on. You don't know how to handle these leads. And I've seen people spend anywhere from $60 a month to millions of dollars a month. There's a guy that spends $10 million a year that I've met in person in Florida, and he sells about $1.8 billion in business. But he has a big team, and when you look at the average sale, he's making good money, but it's it's whatever you want to make of it, right? So I'm not a fan of that. For the new agent, do not, I repeat, do not buy any leads from anywhere. When I first started, as soon as you get that license, you start getting lots of emails from Zillow, Trulia. I mean, I get hundreds of calls every day want to sell you thing, and you get excited about it.
Mhm.
I had an agent one time paid. He didn't have the money. He went and borrowed $3,000 to build a website. That was the dumbest thing you could do. So I'm not a fan of pay to play. You can be in this industry a couple of 3 years, 4 years, 2 to 4 years. Learn it, do it individual, build your business organically, and then once you start making the money, if you want to pay to play, then you build a team. You don't need to be paying unless you have a team to feed that team. You can survive on. I spend the bare minimum. When I first started in this business, I used to subscribe to something called Land Voice. Land Voice. It was $110 a month, and I paid for it, and that got me lots of business. It's cold calling, grassroots. Whether you want to do open houses, whether you want to do cold calling. If no, I was surprised. I was training somebody once. I was taking a bowl class at Keller Williams, and I was like the captain of my group. And this gentleman we started making cold calls. He was literally sweating. He was scared, terrified of cold calling. So I realized quickly that may not be for you. So whether you do cold calling, whether you do open houses, when I say open houses, do it the right way. Don't just go put a sign a day before the open house and get some cookies and call a couple of friends and sit down and eat the cookies and go back home. You got to do it right. So if you do open houses the right way, you will be so busy it's not even funny. You want to go in on a Wednesday and you want to knock every door in that neighborhood, 100 to 200 doors, invite people to your open house, make an event out of it. Now you're going to say, well, I don't have the money to make an event out of it. That's one thing I did not know when I first started. You can utilize vendors. There's a lot of they benefit from you. There's a lot of mortgage people who want clients. So it's good to get that mortgage person say, hey, can you pay for my food this weekend? And I want you to be there so you can pre-qualify clients. You'd be surprised how many people would be lined up. Okay, you don't have to buy fancy flyers and all the stuff. You go to the MLS, you can print that. If Vernon has a good listing, by the way, you said, "Well, I don't have a listing. How am I going to do it?" Right? So very easy. Find the neighborhood you want to work. Find the price point you want to work. I guarantee you, all these agents, including me, I don't like to do open houses. I have a few listings. Call me, say, hey, Mark, I want to do your open house. Fine. So you can make me look good in front of my client, right? And then what's nice about it, even though the listing is mine, when you go to the MLS, Flex MLS, there's three different flyers you can build. You print those flyers, your name comes on it. And you take those flyers and you go to every house in that neighborhood on a Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, knock doors, right? Work it. And introduce yourself. You're not selling them anything. You invite them to come and have some cookies, and maybe you do a $50 gift card for gas or something, right? Walk that neighborhood. You're introducing yourself, first of all, you're branding yourself. And then then the day before or 2 days before, you want to invest in signs. Also, you say, I don't have money to invest in signs. Again, get another vendor, slap their name on that sign, slap an open house on it. Trust me, it will cost you nothing but effort, right? They all want to spend that money because if you get in the business, it's return on investment for them. If that vendor spends $500, sees your hustle that you're going to be knocking doors, they're going to give you the business, right? So you do open houses, focus on that. Uh, I don't like open houses. Like I said, it's I've done them before, and but my thing is cold calling. I've cold calls the majority of my career. Some other people do door knocking. I know a gentleman that does door knocking, and he does very very well. He did it. He was so good at it. On every 59th door, he got a listing. Believe it or not. And the script, hey, I'm so and so. I'm in real estate. My background is this. I'm with Keller Williams. I'm with EXP, whatever company. If you don't have you haven't built a clientele, brag about the company you're with. When I first started, nobody knew who Mark Moussa was. Heck, still nobody knows who Mark Moussa is. But I used the company I was with. I was with Keller Williams. I bragged on Keller Williams a lot, the systems they have. So use that company, and people can see that hunger in you, and they will be attracted to you. Leave the pay to play for the big boys. I started doing it this year, and man, and Vernon brings that up to every meeting. I get embarrassed. I spend about $25,000 a month. Uh, I don't have that kind of money to spend, but I'm trying to build something special, build a team. And the only reason I'm spending this money because I want to keep my guys busy. Because you don't want to bring 3, 4 people there and their livelihood depending on you, and you don't have any business for them. And I split it 50-50 with them, right? So they go do the work. I pay for the leads. I pay for everything. So my advice, short advice to you as a beginner, don't think real estate is easy. The failure rate in real estate is 87%. 87% of agents fail the first year and a half, 18 months. Go in there, work hard. My first year in business, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. Now I don't work as much. I work as much on the stuff that we do and on not real estate. I'm working on podcasts. I probably God knows how many hours, but I've built a system around me that I can have income coming in and build it like I want to. So that's a long answer, man, but I just want to put it out there.
Sure. And so, I think you and I both agree with this industry, whether you're in a niche like me in short-term rentals, whether you're in the residential side or the FISBO or the first-time buyers, you got to do the work. I mean, that's the key to the whole thing. I mean, you
Right.
said the other day we were talking, you can't be a secret agent. You got to get your name out there. I mean, our sphere of influence, I mean, my mom and dad are not buying a house for me. People around me are not buying a house. I have a huge sphere of influence, but it comes from a lot from networking, getting out there. The funny thing I always see is when you go to like a conference and you see agents there and they're just scribbling down all these notes and they're taking all these notes and it's like I'm going to implement every bit of this. The problem is I think they try to implement too much and they don't really zero in on what they really should be focused on. A lot of times, I think, as you said, whether it's cold calling, whether it's, building a list, working your list, doing an open house, whatever. You've got to work it. The thing about it is, the crazy thing in this industry is people think, I'll hang a sign out front and I'll put a couple of posts on social media. I've got a property right now I've been marketing since February. Granted, it's $1 million+ property, but it's got a special kind of buyer. But I can't just give up. The investor, the seller is wanting me to build that out for them. So if I don't do something every day to try to market that property, make phone calls, and do the things that I've got to do, that property is just going to sit there and it's going to go dormant. And the longer it sits, the worse it is. And I don't have the time and the energy really at that point to deal with the type of buyer that's going to come and try to, undersell
Yeah.
us on that. So from that perspective, I mean, I know you're putting in the work this week. I'm putting in the work this week. Even though we're doing other things, we still make cold calls. We still make the
Yep.
contacts. I follow up on my emails. If I get a text, I answer it back really quickly. So in this bigger picture thing, as we look at this thing and we look at moving forward, because I know we're both trying to build a team, we're trying to race to get a certain amount of agents here, 1,000 agents in the state of Tennessee and that sort of thing. What is your advice for like attracting not only the client as the retail client or the investor, but let's talk about how we're going to attract a realtor or someone that's, maybe a seasoned agent. How does that look?
Man, I'm not a fan of recruiting. I really hate recruiting. It's
Right.
like,
That's why I asked this question. I know that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not a fan of recruiting because I mean, uh, everybody has their own mindset. I've done
Mhm.
recruiting. I've been quote unquote recruiting. Well, I don't do recruiting anymore. But I first went independent. I recruited, right, and it was like I hate to say the word, it's like bringing in stray cats. And the problem is, a lot of these companies in town right here, it's they want, if you have a pulse, they're going to take you because they want numbers.
Mhm.
Because sadly, you're going to get lucky and sell one or two to your mom or your dad or your friend or your cousin. I don't want to bring up names here, uh, but when I was a previous company, uh, their team leader there, his job was constantly, he was pushed to just recruit, make calls, and there were about 400 agents in there, and they will recruit 20 and lose 20 every month. But they were making money. That's the formula of most real estate companies, real estate firms, because that those 20 they bring in, the building is paid for, the lots is paid for, everything is paid for. Those 20 they're going to bring in, they're going to sell one or two to their family, and then they're going to get discouraged and move on. So what I've done over the years is I recruit by attract, and I feel like if you're successful, you're going to get the right people. You're going to be surrounded with. Don't get me wrong, I still get the stray cats. Again, remember we said there's no filters on this show. I'm going to call like it is. You still get the stray
Sure. Yeah.
cats. You still get the stray cats, and if you don't take this business as a business, it's one of the hardest thing as a self-employed. And I've been self-employed 99% of my life since age 13. Is discipline. Give me an example. I'm guilty of that myself. A few years ago, uh, my son, I was making good money. I had a good day, making, I don't want to say what I made, but my son, the school called me. My son is sick. He's sick. He wasn't sick. He was one out of school. And I'm divorced. I'm like, oh, I don't see my son. So I had planned to work that day to make cold calls. What did I do? I went to school, picked him up, went to lunch, went shopping with him at the mall, ignored all my business. It's very hard to be self-employed and be disciplined. If you don't take it as a business, you will fail right away. And sadly, most of us don't take it as a business. That's why, hey, you call, how many times have you called agents to put an offer in their house? They don't answer. They don't answer. They
Mhm.
don't answer.
Right.
And if they answer, they're
Mhm.
doing you a favor. It's you gotta take it as a businessman. But I don't recruit anymore. I mean, even though you see my posts about I'm bragging about our company, and I didn't want to bring up recruiting
Mhm.
this about this here. You kind of threw me off guard here, Vernon, which is fine. But yeah, I'm gonna post about what I think is good. It's Have you seen that movie, Jerry Maguire?
Mhm.
Help me, help you. Help
Okay.
me help you. So when I see
Mhm.
what's going out, if I reach out to you, if I call you, by the way, I only reach out to people I think are not necessarily good in real estate, but good people. If I reach out to you, I promise you're going to benefit as much as I am. Okay, because
Mhm.
I'm showing you what's out there. I've moved companies 4 times. And each time I've moved companies, it's been for the better. You cannot stay stagnant. I'm driving an electric car now. I've saw the benefit of it.
Mhm.
I'm saving $600-700 a month from paying
Mhm.
gas. Was it weird to drive an electric car? It was kind of weird. It didn't make noise. It was trying to find a charger. But you got to go to the vehicle. You can't stay stagnant. There was Kmart went out of business.
Mhm.
You got to.
Hmm.
you gotta move on. So, I'm right now with the company I'm in. I don't want to mention names of companies, but I don't know. I mean, in a year there may be something else that comes up. I'm not gonna stay stagnant. But I'm gonna brand. But
Hmm.
remember this: the name of your company, the logo of your company means nothing. People do business with you, not with the logo next to your name, and that's the truth. So, sorry. Go ahead. I think your free. Our technology is messing up here. You froze a little bit, Vernon.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
yeah, it's froze on my end as well. So we as we've talked through this a little bit, so we say you don't want to be a secret agent. You want everyone to know that you're in the real estate business. You want to, you said you've sold without even having business cards. I didn't have business cards until just past year. Because
Yeah.
when I go to a meeting, most people know me when I'm there. When I'm in my own circle. If I'm at a business meeting, lots of people know me there. If I go somewhere new, the first thing I ask them is, can I get your number? So that's how I do that. And then I work the room after the fact. I have a little system I use when I'm trying to attract a new client. I have two pockets. I probably shouldn't say which one I put which one in, because when I'm at a meeting, someone hands me their business card, and if I want to call them back, it goes in a specific pocket. And if I don't want to call them back, or I want
Ah.
to take a little time, it'll be in the other pocket. So when it comes to attraction, I mean, I've I've been with two companies. I worked in the '90s in the real estate business, and I worked for a really nice lady here locally. It was a small company, and they really invested in me. I was sold properties and did really well the first year. So life got in the way, that sort of thing. But recently, I'm a loyal person, so it takes a lot to attract me, and it takes a
Yeah.
lot to get me to come and be a part of what people are doing. So
Yeah.
I know how hard it is to get me to break free of something. So when we're looking at clients, they're the same way. People are busy. Nobody hardly reads anymore. People are on social media to be either entertained or educated. They're trying to do those things. So tell me a little bit more about kind of like what you think with social media. Kind of how I do mine, and you've seen what I do on social media, and I see what you do. Tell me what tool that is for people right now, because I think most people don't realize the ability of something that's pretty much free.
Cheap.
What's your social media
So
strategy?
let me talk to you about
How
this. So
you work trying to attract clients every day?
so let me tell you this a little bit. So I don't care how well known you are, okay, how famous you are, how branded you are. You just said something good. You got to be in front of people. We at our attention span. Have you guys heard of the company called Coca-Cola? You heard of Coke? They still spend $2 billion a year in marketing. It's all over the world. Who doesn't know Coke, right? I'm going to give you an example. I used to own like I said, a Verizon store. I had a cat, a dog, and an African gray parrot. My neighbor next to me had a pet shop. She sold food, pet food, right? She didn't have a sign. It was in I lived in Powell back in the day. It was a small store. She didn't have a sign that says, she's my neighbor, like next to me. I will leave work, rush to Ingles to buy pet food because I don't remember she was next to me. She didn't have a sign. And then I'll come back the next day. I'm like, crap. I had my head right there. Blooper. She'd be like,
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, I just noticed I forgot she was there. So social media, man, nothing has been as cheap and you can do it so easily. So let me tell you what I started when I first started in real estate. I didn't have any clients. My first client called me and said it was Sphere, my Sphere. I don't contact him. I just post. He's like, man, you're busy. I wasn't busy. The perception is I was busy because what I did when I was going to classes, I'll take a picture of the book that I'm taking, pencil or my food for lunch. Hey, I'm in real estate class today. I'm learning about this. I post it 2 or 3 times a day on social media about real estate without the boring part, without selling you. Use a little bit of humor. If when I start working with buyers, they have a cute dog. I'll take permission, obviously. Hey, can I take a picture of your dog? Well, I'm here with, Charlie. Look how cute this beautiful German Shepherd dog. His family's moving from Florida, right? I'm posting about real estate without that suit and tie. I do have a business page, right? I do have a business page. My personal page is really my business page. You'd be surprised. My personal page is really my business page. So uh, I put I put things in there. I want people to know what I do, who I am, and all that good stuff. Without and I keep controversy away. By the way, if you Democrat, Republican, Independent, pro-life, pro-chocolate, pro whatever, you got to stay
Mhm.
Switzerland on social media. Heck, I offended
Mhm.
somebody over the Florida Gators one time. I was just saying, hey, go. People get offended at anything, so try to keep it Switzerland. You're a public figure, by the way, as a realtor. If you don't know that, you are. I had another agent one time, and I liked her a lot. She would go clubbing and put pictures. I'm like, are you out of your mind? You got to watch what you put on social media, but post things on social media about your business, what you like. People go to my Facebook page, my personal one. It's really my business one. They know how many kids I have. I love soccer. They know a little bit about me, but I'll never put my political stuff over there, or what
Right.
or religious stuff. But I do put about business, right? I talk about business a lot, and I talk. They want people to know do business with people they like and they trust. And how do they trust you, by the way? I went to a convention one time. Jeffrey Gitmore, this guy, one of the best salesmen in the world. There's 3,000 people in there, and they said, "How many people?" He asked, "How many people do business with you because they trust you?" And 99% of the people raise their hand. This thing's gonna kill me. I need to move it. Raise their hand, right? Um,
Mhm.
and he said, "How many people do business because they like you?" And few people. I was one of the ones. If people like you, they trust.